This is my sleepy voice, and you are listening to Night Fictions. But what is Night Fictions, I hear you cry? Alright, well, settle down and I'll tell you, sleepy baby. Night Fictions is an anthology of short stories set in a strange and whimsical dream world, all of which follow you, the visitor, a mysterious, nondescript traveler through this world of hazy reverie and vivid night terrors. Each tale is either a direct recording of, or based on, an improvised music and storytelling session played by varying members from our troupe of Dreamweavers. In this, our very first and pilot episode, we have 2 stories for you. So let's dive in, shall we? Yes, we shall. I present to you Episode 1, Story 1, Final Cut.
This place gives you the creeps. It is dark, cold. There's a lot of mold. You can't see it yet, but you can smell it. Its invisible tendrils painting your lungs black. You move towards the back of the room, spy many great shelving units, racks and racks of them. Each shelf on each unit full of cardboard boxes. You stroll right up to one, scooch it over to the edge of the shelf, and open that bad boy up. Film canisters, hundreds of them stacked high. You pull one out, hold it aloft, hoping some sliver of light will make its way into this place and reflect across its surface. But it is met only with darkness, and there in that darkness you begin to pull the film from the canister. As it spills onto the floor, you begin hearing this clicking noise from somewhere out there. Or is it you? Are you making the noise? And now there appears to be something wrong with your eyes. The room was dark before, now it is full of light, and then dark again, flashing, changing. No, it's not your eyes. It's the whole world. Yin and yang strobing along for infinity. Light and then dark, and then light, 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 and then dark, and then only light as it shudders to a halt here in the great studio. Giant set pieces towering above you, beautiful, glimmering technicolor in the light.
There you are! So good to see you, old sport. Hope you didn't have too much trouble finding the place.
You shake your head.
No, it was pretty easy, actually.
Good, swell and fantastic, wouldn't you say?
He punctuates each of his words with a friendly but firm pat on your back, and you take the moment to look him up and down. He has an unlit cigar in his mouth, seems more interested in chewing it than smoking it, and he's wearing a very, very fine suit, Italian-made for sure.
Molto bello,
he says, reading your mind, and links arms with you, leading you further into the studio.
One VIP tour coming right up. Now over here we have my favorite department, the props department. Yeah, it's very exciting. All the different props for all the different types of films. Your action, adventure,
The
romance.
props area he's indicating is a corner of the studio that seems to be completely empty as far as you can tell. Not a thing in there. But you don't want to seem ignorant, so you nod vigorously and say,
Oh yeah, I love props.
He stops, grins widely, grabs you tightly by the shoulders, gives you a brief shake, and then pushes you along to the next area.
Over here is where we make all of our actors, and oh, how exciting! One's being made right now.
Two people dressed head to toe in white plastic paint a mannequin stood in the middle of the room. After a moment, one of them puts down the paintbrush and small bucket of paint and begins whispering something into the ear of the mannequin.
Huh? I had no idea this was how you make actors.
You admit, and the director looks at you and winks.
Well, yes, and of course, we make all the greatest actors here. I mean, Welker, Stewart...
Now, as he lists the indisputably finest talent of the last century, you begin to remember why it is you came to this place. There was a time when things were easier, happier, perhaps. A golden era, you might call it.
Say, I was wondering if I could see the editing suite. I'd like to make a few changes, you know? See if I can go back to the way things were.
He looks at you and wipes a tear from his eye.
An artist after my own heart. Follow me, old sport.
He leads you into another room, separate from the main studio area. This place is smaller, but cozy. Dark, but strangely warm and comfy. The two of you are boxed in by pale red light, and he moves over to the editing table directly in the center of the room and says,
Pop a seat, old sport. Let's see what we can do.
You promptly sit and then lie down on the editing table and see the various editing instruments there on the side of the table, which he is now reaching for. Scissors and scalpels for taking things apart. Tape and glue for joining things back together.
Right, now I've got the sense of your vision and I want to stay true to it, but there is one little caveat I have to explain first, old sport. I get final cut. You understand? Always have, always will.
And he gets to snipping, starting with your feet, moving up to your ankles, shins, knees, your thighs, torso, chest, arms, hands, neck, and head.
It tickles.
You hear yourself say, from somewhere far away. You immediately suppose that with things in a different order, everything must be better. And there's a spring in your step as you leave the studio. But as you move further away from the building, you can't shake the feeling that you can change around the order, but all the same things still happened, unless you reshoot.
That was Final Cut. Now on to story number 2. Soiree, our cemetery.
Oh shit, you're late. You run frantically into the graveyard. Where is everybody? You can't be late. How embarrassing. There you see it, the clearing. A circle of headstones. And in the middle, the guests. All having a great time. Fuck, you've done it now. You've you've got to make a good impression. This entrance has got to be the talk of the town. You stop on the outskirts. They haven't seen you yet. You take a look at what you're wearing. It's your Sunday best. A purple suit, red shoes, and all your sovereign rings, golden flashing upon your knuckles. Yeah, I can do this. This is good. I look great. You assure yourself. And so you begin walking, stepping towards the circle of headstones. And the guests are all having a blast, each of them with their decayed skin just about hanging on. Some of them, they don't even have skin anymore, they're just all bone, and they are shaking them. A rat-a-tat-tattle they go. There are two particular guests dead in the center that you know you need to impress, for they are the hosts. And what they say goes. Hi everybody, I'm so sorry that I just, there was good traffic and then, but here I am, so, party, right? Am I right? You slap one of them on the back, his head comes clean off, but he picks it up and starts dancing with it, waving in front of himself. He's having a great time. You can tell the head is smiling. You don't get a response, so you move to the outskirts where a trestle table is set up with some snacks and punch. I brought some gluten-free biscuits. No one's looking at you. You pop the biscuits disgruntledly on the table. Come on, get it together. You whisper to yourself. You turn around. You gotta go in hard. You gotta make a serious impression here. So do what you do best and move. You start wiggling your hips. You put your fingers into a point on each hand and just thrust them out gently. Yeah, you can feel a few eye sockets on you now. You wiggle closer to a small group of decomposing ladies and you say, "Hey girls." Comes the reply. You wiggle into the center of the trio. Yeah, this is it. You feel more eyes upon you now. The impression is being made. The hosts, previously in the center, with the moon acting as a spotlight down on them, turn to face you now. They both do that fishing move, miming casting out a reel towards you. Yes! Fucking nailed it. You signal that they've hooked you, and they both start turning the reel. With each little loop they make with their hands, you just do a little hop, closer, towards them. Moving into the center, beneath the moonlit spotlight, ringed by the headstones. Soiree on cemetery. Soiree on cemetery. Soiree on cemetery. Everyone throws their head back and howls at the moon. The guests dig their way back beneath the dirt, and you are not invited.
Thank you so very much for listening to episode 1 of Night Fictions. Night Fictions is a creation by Leah Beckesis and Andrew Wielden Dennis. The first stream, Final Cut, was improvised by Leah Beckesis on keyboard, Joe Irwin on guitar, and Andrew Wielden Dennis on vocals. Additional music was added by Lee, and the story was re-improvised and re-recorded by Andrew. The second story, Soiree, Our Cemetery, was also improvised by Lee, Joe, and Andrew. In that one, almost all of the original improv was kept, with just some additional music added by Lee. Thank you for visiting. We'll see you next time.